Hi, it's Tuesday. I'm Susan here on MoBuzz TV, and today we're going to show you how you can move things if you really put your mind to it. Have you heard about the avatar machine? What is it? Basically, it's a contraption that allows you to experience your environment as if from a third-person perspective, like you would in a gaming one, viewing yourself as a virtual character in real space via a head-mounted interface. So what's interesting about this? Well, apparently it's the potential of people's actions when they feel a diminished sense of social responsibility and also demonstrate a behaviour that is normally reserved for the gaming environment. Take a look at this video. Apparently the costume was inspired by World of Warcraft. How have users responded to testing out the product? Well, according to their creator, they were pretty much universal in their reaction to it. Though people started out pretty cautious, taking baby steps, until they got used to controlling their movements from a third-person perspective, users then began to gain confidence and mimic movements they imagined the avatar would use, like swinging arms. And then after another while, the users began to approach humans to observe their reaction from the interface. After just over 2.5 years, Spanish police have arrested the man behind one of the Bluetooth viruses known as the Cabir mobile virus. The virus spreads from mobile to mobile via MMS and Bluetooth. Any infected terminal, that is, can spread the virus to all phones in its contact list, as well as every phone within Bluetooth range. Apparently over 115,000 phones have been infected with the virus. The man was a 28-year-old Spaniard, and the undercover operation was known as Operation Leslie after his girlfriend. I guess she must have helped in the investigation. But with the launch of Apple iPhones just a few days away, and with the new Symbian OS phones being released in response, I guess we should all be vigilant with MMSs. Have you been following Technorati's Where's the Fire feature? I'm not really sure what's happening here, but it says in the description that WTFs are short blurbs that explain the buzz around people, things, or events, why the hot topics are so hot, and you can vote the best ones to the top. Have some genius to share? Hot topics being stripping, cheerleading, etc. I'm not sure whether these topics are really hot topics, no pun intended, or if these people really do have some genius to share. Interesting to note though that there's been no new WTFs on the main page for the past few days. It does make you wonder though if the phrase should not be, what the fuck? Have you ever thought about what the world would be like without us? Yes, that was Africa, but apparently it could be New York in 10,000 years if we're not around, according to Alan Weissman in his new book, The World Without Us. This next short video shows us how the Earth would be if we were no longer here to have an impact on it. But what would happen with all the toxic waste we've already created? I mean, surely that would destroy every living thing.
Imagine that one morning the day started like any other, but with one big difference. All humans had vanished. What would the Earth be like without people? First, the power utilities would start to shut down. In a city like New York, the pumps in the subways would switch off and the water would pour in. The streets above would erode quickly and collapse. Within days, nature would begin its reclamation.
For me, the most poignant point, though, in this video is the last, an Earth without humans. But who would ever know? Hitachi have been working on developing a brain-machine interface device that would allow people to move things via brain activity. The device analyzes slight changes in the brain's blood flow and then translates the brain motion into electric signals. In their demonstration, they showed a woman with the device attached to her head. Once it detected activity in the frontal cortex of her brain, the part you use for doing sums and problem solving, the train moved. When she stopped using that part of her brain, the train stopped. The technology behind the device is known as optical topography, which measures brain activity through infrared. Although these kind of devices have been developed with specifically medical conditions in mind, Hitachi and Honda are two companies anxiously trying to get a device ready for commercial use, a remote controller for the TV, one that allows you to turn it on and off and change channels simply by thinking about it. Though they do admit the device may be a little while down the road as regards commercial use. But one of the clear advantages of this over earlier devices is that it does not involve a chip needing to be implanted under the skull. Although this device does look a little like straight out of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, doesn't it? So moving things through mental calculation. I wonder what would happen if I thought of the square root of